thumbs up. Be sure to like. Be sure to share. Thank you all so much for your patience. I know the scheduling has been up and down. There were some other shows that came on before mine, so I'm sure that no notifications are going to be given, but there are several other contributors on the platform. So make sure that you subscribe and that you hit receive all notifications so that you are notified when the other folks go live. You can also text the word Queens to 31996. That way, you'll receive a phone alert when one of the Fly Nubian Queen contributors are going live. Okay, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicki. Thank you so very much. Now, family, what I want to talk about today is this investor, the Silicon Valley investor, Veronica Wu. Let's talk about Miss Wu. Here's a picture of her. Let me make it to where you can see it. Veronica Wu is a notable venture capitalist, a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, right? I'm pulling up her picture. This is her. Do you all see Miss Wu? Now, Miss Wu, Miss Veronica Wu, from out of Silicon Valley. Let me give you the details. I'm going to give you some updated news on her that just took place a few hours ago. But let me tell you why this Silicon Valley investor has been making headlines. This piece that I'm reading from right now is from Courtney Brown. This is a Black lady who wrote this piece recently on this Miss Veronica Wu. Now, this is an important subject to talk about, family, because we are at a time where Black folk are 100% dissatisfied. This is an important time because we have been exposing how Black folks, we truly do not have any allies whatsoever. And the circumstances that have been surrounding us lately is proving that. We are not finding a lot of LGBT folks supporting us. We are not finding a lot of Hispanic people supporting us. We're not finding a lot of folks in the Asian Pacific Islander community supporting us. We're not finding a lot of the folk from the Me Too community. We're not finding a lot of anybody else supporting us. Watch this, in the way that we typically support them. Are y'all hearing me? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Let me put, I'm messaging this. I'm sorry about that. I got an alert. All right, family. Now watch this. Watch this. So, this Miss Veronica Wu, in light of the fact that we're seeing over and over again that we truly don't have any allies. You all know that I did a show for the past year or so exposing the fact, before the news broke, before the laws came, when we saw that Black folk in America were being set up. We saw that Black folks in America, we were being framed politically. What do you mean, Vicki? We saw about a year or so ago, they started to act like Black folks was intentionally trying to attack folk from the Asian communities. We know that was a lie. We were sitting here screaming to say that's not true. We're the kindest people on the planet. We're the most loving. We're the only group of people. Nobody can say that they engaged in the level of civil disobedience like we did. Nobody can say that they walk amongst their 500-year tormentors like we did, right? Somebody put in the chat, #466. Y'all let me get a quick little sip of my tea. Don't make fun of me with my tea, y'all. Talk black to me. But yet, we who are the most empathetic, the most sympathetic, we, by the way, you all know I did a whole breakdown. I gave you the specifics of the bill that turned into a law, the Civil Rights Bill. You all know that it was because of us even when we were dealing with Jim Crow. At the height of Jim Crow, you all know that because of our advocacy, it was us that caused there to be a provision for immigrants to make way to this country, the country that we built. You all do understand that we are the true founders of America. You all do understand that members of the oppressive, dominant society in the United States did not have the wherewithal, the intelligence, the mental, the physical infrastructure or bandwidth to build the United States of America. You know that's why they stole our labor. You understand that's why they stole us. You understand that's why they destroyed our families so that they could steal our intellectual property, so they can steal our labor, so that we can construct a reality that they could not do on their own. Talk black to me, right? You all do understand that. You all do understand that. Now watch this, watch this, watch this. Let's get right on into it because today's a brief war briefing. This piece that I'm reading from, again, Courtney Brown, it says, exclusive Silicon Valley investor dismissed racism, called Black Lives Matter the true racist. Now, I want to read through some of this right now because it was your Black activist organizers like Shaun King. It was your Black congressional legislators, policymakers that was pushing Stop Asian Hate. But they didn't have that same energy. It was your funny looking celebrities that was using their platform to reach millions of people to sit there and push this Stop Asian Hate. I told you guys way before anybody else did that this was a setup. I told you they were framing us. And I told you guys that they did this. They were doing this so that they could eventually get a bag for the Asian community. And what happened? When I told you that there was no reporting that I knew of that showed anything about the White House getting ready to redirect $50 million to them, there was nothing of that sort. Why? Congress doesn't agree on anything. The Republicans can't stand the Democrats. The Democrats can't stand the Republicans. How is it that an overwhelming majority of both Republicans and Democrats, specifically in the Senate, came to a very fast agreement for members of the Asian community to give them protections and then redirect money to the tune of $50 million to them? I told y'all they were looking for a bag. I told you guys that even though the small handful of attacks that those in their community experienced, many of them many of the attacks were from white folk. I told you that the reason why the media is lying against Black folks trying to act like we are attacking them is because the folks in their community know that they're wanting to appeal to mostly white legislators. So because they don't want to offend the white supremacists that they're asking for money from and these fake laws and protections for they're real protections, but I'm saying based on a faulty premise that we were attacking them. They knew that they couldn't come out and go crazy on white supremacy because they're going to the white supremacists for the hookup. So they were willing to throw us under the bus. I know no notifications went out, family, because another show came on before mine. So that means that nobody would know that I'm here. So it's okay. Don't worry about even doing none of that. Those that come, I believe the right people at the right time will hear the broadcast. I just want to put this out in the atmosphere real quick. So you all know that we've been tagging all these Congress people. We've been tagging the celebrities. We've been tagging all these Black bootlicks who was pushing this Stop Asian Hate. But they're not pushing reparations. And we said, how is it that these folks from the Asian community, many of which are not foundational citizens, we said, how did they get the Democrats and the Republicans to get them not a bill? A bill is something that you propose that's not official. They actually got legislation signed and passed. I said, how did they manage to do that in 1 year's time? And how do they manage to get $50 million just for their communities when those of us who built the country, those of us who bore the whip, those of us who were set on fire, those that created America, haven't gotten a dime, and America has not stopped oppressing us? How did they do that in a year? How did Asians do in a year where we haven't been able to get in 500 years? We broke down the fact based on Joe Biden's recent words where he said that America was doomed in part because of Black folks. Y'all remember me playing you that footage? So Joe Biden, just a few months ago, the end of last year, when he was waiting to take the oath of office in January, he told a group of Black useless bootlegs that America, I'm saying this parenthetically, is in part doomed because of Black people. And he went on to say how America is getting ready to be minority European soon. That's the other reason America is doomed. This lets you know that white folk in America, Democrats and Republicans and everything in between, they really are concerned about Black people. And it is really about the color of our skin, because isn't it the white Democrats and Republicans that love to say, and Republicans and Democrats that love to say, we're all the same. Don't you find that many in America, white folks love to say, we're not racist, we're all Americans, we're the same. We don't care about color. But yet they're freaking out because their numbers are dwindling. You got to ask yourself, if white folks say that they're not racist anymore, if they say that color doesn't matter, if they say they don't see color, why is it that Joe Biden is freaking out? I thought we were just all Americans. I said I thought we were just all Americans. They're worried about what was written. When it says in the book of Revelation, you all know when I quote scripture, I'm not quoting it from some parochial, misguided religious interpretation. I don't give you bad exegesis. Talk Black to me. There are multiple layers and even more than double meanings to scripture. Talk Black to me. Thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. Again, don't freak out about it. I'm just throwing it out there for those that will see it later. Watch this. It's because they are concerned about Black folk ruling, reigning, and they're concerned that they are about to organically remove basically themselves off the planet. Now, you all know I did a show not too long ago giving you the official results of the census, right? What did the census show? The census got all the Americans, a lot of Americans freaking out right now. The census showed exactly what we've been saying for a long time. Their numbers are dwindling. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Back to, keep these things in mind while I'm talking about Veronica Wu. Can I get a whoa, whoa, whoa? I don't know why I did that right there. Watch this. Watch this. While we're dealing with white supremacist genocide and murder against Black people in all manner of ways, other people that we thought were our friends and our allies have proven not to be. I told you guys a long time ago that we don't have no Mr. Miyagi's. Daniel's son, nobody's getting ready to show you how to do karate. Nobody is getting ready to intercede for us to help save our lives and to teach us defensive tactics so that we can beat down our open enemy. Talk Black to me. I said, we don't have no Mr. Miyagi's. And you ain't no Daniel's son. I have told you over and over again, before I go further with this, what have I taught you about roadkill? How many of you all have ever seen a dead animal in the streets over a several day period of time? How many of you have noticed that different animals, insects, and organisms at different times comes along to eat at that dead carcass? How many times have I taught you that even though the dog came and played with the dead carcass, even though a coyote came to play with the dead carcass and eat off the dead carcass, even though insects and other organisms come to eat off of the dead carcass, how many of you all know that the insect doesn't care that a coyote was just there to eat off of the roadkill. All of the people that's eating off of the dead thing, they don't care that 10 other organisms before them came to eat off of you. If they see your bones in the streets, if they see one slither of flesh, how many of you all know they don't care how much you're dead? God, this is good. How many of you all know they don't care how dead you are? They don't care how destroyed you are. They don't care how many white people before them came to destroy you. If there is any piece of you that's stagnant and that's left over, how many of you all know they will eat at the leftovers? When you guys understand that we're at war, and like our ancestors taught us, we have no friends, this will make more sense to you. Now, let me get on with the rest of the story. Let me show you this unremarkable, funny-looking Karen. She's an honorary white woman. Look at this honorary white woman, this honorary white supremacist. Anybody that will say the things that she said, this is why I teach you. Vicki, why do you go off all the time on black bootlicks? Because white supremacy works through any vessel, no matter how dark the skin. White supremacy is a mindset. So Miss Wu, Veronica Wu, who is she, Vicki? Again, I'm reading from this article, this Axios article written by Courtney Brown, this black lady. Watch this. Notable venture capitalist and board member at the public company behind iconic brands like the North Face and Timberland. Think about that. This high-level, notable venture capitalist out of Silicon Valley, y'all, board member, are y'all listening? Who's worked with such companies like the North Face and Timberland, called Black Lives Matter. Y'all know black protesters. That's what that's for, right? We're not talking about the demonic, miscellaneous individuals that's connected to the organization Black Lives Matter. You all know that Black Lives Matter, whenever we're talking about that in public spaces, we're talking about the slogan Black Lives Matter and black protesters. Whenever other folks, when the white supremacists is talking about Black Lives Matter, they're not talking about the suspect elements that's being controlled by the unseen hands of our open enemy. Black Lives Matter is just another word for black folk protesting and black folks needing to shut up, right? She said the BLM, in other words, black protesters, watch this, I'm quoting her, are the true racist. According to emails that were obtained by Axios, Veronica Wu was a co-lead on a fund that it once described as the largest pool of money dedicated to seed startups. Y'all think about this. Miss Wu. They reached out to her for comments. She didn't respond. Watch this. At the time, she was a managing partner at Hone Capital, Hone, a U.S. venture arm of China Science and Merchants Investments Management Group, also known as CSC Group. Y'all better listen. What did I just say? That's the U.S. venture arm of China Science and Merchants Investment Management Group. I said, black folks don't have no friends. I've done a show long time ago. This is before I even came to Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube. I was on Fly Nubian Queen, one of the other platforms. I interviewed Brother Rizza then. And we discussed the fact how whole countries, Asian countries, are actually, they prep their people that they send to America. And they help them to target us And their whole countries provide them with resources. So when they come to the country, they're easily able to get loans and get deals and to get banks and to get properties and possessions. Y'all better pay attention. Remember when I told you that America refuses to make black folks whole? America refuses to give us reparations. But didn't I tell you guys that what America doesn't know is that spirit got a trick for her? And the ancestors has a trick for America. The very people that America thinks she's vetting real good, the paperwork you think you vetting good, these are, I believe strongly in my spirit, these are going to be some of the very people that you're going to look at later and say they were spies. These people, their countries sent them here, fool. Their countries are giving them, in some cases, their countries are giving them the playbook to look like they're being oppressed in their countries so that they can come here and get the secrets of America and also some of its resources. America thinks she's slick. America is leveling up strangers. America is allowing foreigners to get the American dream based on our black, bloody American nightmare. But spirit got a trick for you, America. Mark my words. I said this a long time ago. Y'all think that paperwork, some of them, I had to flee from my country because I was being persecuted. Stupid. Don't you know that their country is helping them pretend that they were persecuted? Dummy. Gonna turn on them. That's exactly right, naturally, Tura. But y'all ain't smart enough to see spiritual warfare. See, you think Vicki is just some sister with curly braids screaming with a gavel in her hand. And I'm tapped into the spirit realm that will out-pimp all the rest of you any day of the week. Out black to me. You think you know something because you're reading it just from the newspaper. I'm reading it from a spiritual paper. And sometimes I'm reading some of your leaders. Why do you think your practitioners call it a reading? God, today, you got to join Club Vicki to get that. Get back to this, Vicki, because I'm not going to be long. A spokesperson for VF Corporation declined to comment and would not comment on Wu's behalf. Think about this. America went into a deal with I want to get the exact name of the company again. Home Capital. What did I say that was? It's a U.S. venture arm of China Science and Merchants Investment Management Group. See how what the world thinks of you? Trump made fun of Asians, right? Dogged them out. How long has America been in a war with China? How often does America dog out China and China dog out America? Have you guys ever understood why America still get along with them? They still conversate and chit chat in ways with the Asians that they don't do with the Africans? How many of you all know that all America does is when America is ticked off, they label every African leader as some kind of crazy nut job dictator. So if they kill him or cause him to be killed or assassinated, you don't think nothing by it because America portrays them as nuts and beasts. But America still somehow does diplomatic negotiations with Chinese people while China owns America. Y'all play too much. That's too deep for you right now. But this is the China home capital, right? What did I say? H-O-N-E. Capital. That's the U.S. venture arm of China Science and Merchants Investment. Y'all better quit being stupid. What are you saying, Vicki? I'm saying that some of the Asians don't care about being made fun of by America. They know it's a game. They're working behind the scenes together because they see power and money. It's only you Negroes that think that other folks are going to be empathetic and sympathetic to us, and you don't understand that war language is money and power. They ain't studying you. That's too deep for some of y'all. Watch this. Wu was previously a co-lead on a CSC Upshot Fund, created in 2015 to invest in companies on fundraising platforms Angel List. At the time, the company says it was the biggest ever dedicated to seed stage funding. Watch this. June 2020, an office manager at Home Capital notified Wu that the firm would honor Juneteenth as a holiday capital. Y'all better pay attention. This is why we tell you that white supremacy is a global religion. The reason we tell you that white supremacy is a government, is a universal government, is because it operates in black bodies, yellow bodies, red bodies, white bodies. And that's the reason why can't none of you check me on no day when you say, are you attacking another black person? No slowness. I'm attacking a black looking person that the white supremacist uses to come in among us undercover. You too blind, you can't see it. Have a seat in the back of the class. Let me clear my throat while I do that. Thumbs up, share, share. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Give me a second to clear my throat. Again, family, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Twitter at Dillard Vicki. And be sure to sign up for my weekly mastermind that's going down tomorrow night, clubvicky.com, for only $1. Watch this. Are y'all listening? June 2020, an office manager at Home Capital notified Wu that the firm would honor Juneteenth as a company holiday. Are y'all listening? According to email exchanges reviewed by Axios, Wu responded that she didn't know about the holiday, which commemorates when enslaved black people in Galveston, Texas, learned of their emancipation. Of course, we know what Juneteenth is. Watch this. After the office manager, now ask yourself this question. How these immigrants and these foreigners coming over here don't know what Juneteenth is? Y'all's funny looking self have to know a certain level of history. You have to cite stuff before you get your papers. Talk black to me, family. But what America doesn't make sure is that you know anything about the true founders of America, which are black Americans, foundational black Americans. Did y'all notice that? You will know about the enslavers, the killers, the murderers. You will know about the pedophiles that claim they built the country, who y'all call the founding fathers. But you're going to come over here talking about you don't know what Juneteenth is, fool, when you can Google. Don't you work in Silicon Valley? Silicon Valley is Google. Miss Woo, woo, woo. Woo don't know how to Google? Funny looking self. Talking about you don't know what Juneteenth is. Watch this. After the office manager explained and noted other companies honoring the day because of the country's renewed focus on racism in the wake of George Floyd's murder, Wu said she was, quote, particularly not supportive. Did y'all hear what I said? Wu said, when they broke down to her what it was and how other companies were celebrating it, she said, upon learning what it was, she said, all hail to the now. How do you say that in Chinese? How do you say hail to the now in Chinese? That's what she said. Watch this. Quote, y'all better listen. Why am I talking about this? Because when you hear Vicki say stuff in advance and telling you stuff, I'm giving you foresight. Foresight is to tell you stuff in advance. You know I'm not a nut. So when you don't hear Joy Reid and Donna Lemonade and Donna Brazil and them talking about what I'm talking about, you know that you are being misled by white supremacist talking heads that look like you. Listen. She says, quote, I don't believe in Black Lives Matter. If anything, I think they are the true racist trying to stir up things to make this country going. And she said that wrong grammatically. You can at least say it right. If anything, I think they're the true racists trying to stir up things to make this country going to socialism or even communism, potentially. she wrote in part. This foreigner says that we who bled blood, we who shed blood, we who experienced the worst treatment of any human being for longer than anybody else, she said, those of us that are protesting are the true racists, and that we are trying to bring communism or even socialism, potentially, she says. Wu said because the company was owned by CSC Group, the decision about making the day a company holiday wasn't theirs to make. Watch this. Watch this. Somebody on my Instagram post, when I said that she called us lazy, a few minutes later, somebody commented, I looked at several publications. I don't see anything where she said we were lazy. They said, can you send me the link? I said, you can watch the Vicki show and I'll provide you the receipts there. Shout out to my moderator that's already put the link in the chat. Family, as a media person, we want to get it right. And when we find out that we don't, we must correct it, right? What I find strange about some of you funny looking Negroes is that you know darn well that when you see an upcoming show from CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or NBC, you are not going to email Rachel Maddow and say, Rachel, I don't see a link to the show you talking about you got coming up. Send me the link. First of all, sit your funny looking self down and tune in so I can give it to you here. Because the purpose of me posting is so that you can listen to me slowness. And number two, don't you dare try to vet me, question me, scrutinize, investigate what I'm saying and put a standard on me that you will never put on our open enemy. Some of you funny looking Negroes ask your own brother and sister questions that you would never ask the white supremacists. You take their word for it, which is why your funny looking self is confused in the first place, dummy. I just asked for the link. No, you didn't ask for the link. I read spirits. I don't just answer questions. You are a raccoon up in this piece because you feel comfortable questioning me in a way that you would never on no day. Ask your open enemy. I'm just saying, you keep that same energy, get that same energy to them. If some of you funny looking Negroes would question and vet your open enemy, we could get somewhere with the truth about the Jews. We could get somewhere with the truth about these vacations. Read through the lines and don't say the word in the chat. That's the problem. You ain't questioning them. You take their word for stuff and look stuck and stupid 30, 20, 40, 50 years later. Got the nerve to feel comfortable. Can you send me the link? You need to do what Miss Wu do. Google and read for longer than 2 minutes because I just put up the post. You're not that adept, boo. You're not that deep. And besides, when I'm talking about those that are allies with white supremacy, what you doing questioning me anyway, fool? I don't see nowhere what she called shut up. This is the reason I have the gavel, and I brought the gavel, and this is the home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. The gavel didn't come from nobody else. The gavel was something Vicki was using long before social media existed. For real, for real, for real, for real. I'm talking about YouTube and stuff. I brought it here when I came to the social media. funny looking self. You don't even know how to question your open enemy. Going on vacations and stuff, drinking juice. Confused, funny looking self. Voting for your open enemy, want to sit there and ask me about a link when you can just tune in and shut up and get the information. I don't see nowhere, but she said, black folks, shut up. You probably trying to get engaged to Miss Wu or Chung Lee. That's what it is. You trying to ask a girl out, an Asian girl out on a date at the job and stuff, and trying to feel better about your decision. Why did I say all that? Because here's the article, slowness, link in the chat. What does it say? I don't just do headlines. Wu's email was not the first time she expressed similar comments while at Home Capital, which touts a zero tolerance policy for discrimination on his website. One of the firm's former employee alleges, quote, listen to the quote from the allegation, a credible allegation from a previous employee on Miss Wu, slowness. Quote, she would say, quote, the reason you don't see African Americans in tech is because they're lazy and don't work. Are you ready, slowness? Somebody, moderator, put the link back in the chat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 more times, please. Please put the link in the chat. Now, somebody with the name of Tanyan, Oladimemejai, looks like somebody that's Asian. They put it in the language for me. They said, that's it, Vicki. You tell them. I trust that's what it is. By faith, I believe that's what the word is. Thank you, beloved, for putting it in Chinese and stuff. Thank you, moderator, for putting the link in the chat for the slowness of it all. It's for the slowness of it all. Again, it's not because you're questioning me. It's because you question me in a way I know you would never question white people in media. That's what all this energy from me is from. And your question was to defend the indefensible white supremacist, honorary white supremacist. That's Miss Veronica Wu. That's why I'm tripping. Newness. Don't make me call you Sunday, because that's when you used to matter. It's Tuesday, I think, or something. Let me read it again. She would say, quote, the reason you don't see African Americans in tech is because they're lazy and don't work. Black people are underrepresented in Silicon Valley because of systemic barriers to entry. That's what the article goes on to say. The biggest thing from the article they were talking about was the fact that she called black protesters. She said that we're the true racist. Well, guess what? Breaking news. Breaking news. This happened. Some of this news broke. I saw several articles on this. The one I'm reading to you from right now comes out of Yahoo Finance. Do you see? This is from today, from a few hours ago. You see the time, you see the link. Again, that's just one. I looked at several others before I came on live to make sure I was giving you the latest updated information. Yahoo Finance, VF Corp board member Veronica Wu, who stepped down today. Somebody say she just stepped down today. Somebody say she just stepped down today. Allegedly calls Black Lives Matter true racist. VF Corp said today that Veronica Wu has decided to step down from the company's board of directors effective immediately. According to the company, Wu's decision to exit was not the result of any disagreement with VF or any matter relating to the firm's operations, policies, or practice. We know that's a lie. They probably let her step down so that she can keep her money. On Friday, controversial emails from the Silicon Valley investor were leaked and obtained by Axios. In them, of course, I've already told you what she said, but anyway, the article goes on to say, in them, Wu allegedly discredits the Black Lives Matters movement. In an email dated June 6, 2020, she says, I don't believe in Black Lives Matter. If anything, I believe they're the true racists trying to stir up things to make this country go to socialism or even communism, potentially, which, of course, I've already told you about that. Now, why am I reading this to you? Because I'm trying to show you, family, Black folks, we are under no obligation to apologize to any group that would undermine and destroy and disrespect us. I'm bringing this to your attention so that you will know we know what we're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to expose this because Black folks are wondering why we're not getting further along in life. It is because we're making allies and we don't understand that other folks' interest, like this Stop Asian Hate stuff, they got a whole law in a year's time and they got $50 million. But they're telling you that they can't give us reparations or give us any protections. They can't even get the George Floyd Act through, family. Do you all know that they can't even get the lynching law passed? Talk Black to me. Finally, these different groups that are coming from all over the world, most of them claim that they got it real bad in their countries, which means they abandon their homelands. They abandon their shanty towns. They abandon the disgusting areas that they lived in, squalid environments. They fled and they come to the country that we built and disrespect those of us who built the country and shed blood for it. We will no longer accept it. We're calling you out. And more importantly, I want us to get our political plan together and call out America and call out the politicians and call out Joe Biden, because these are the people that they just gave an official law of protection to and gave them big time money. And they gave us, citizens of the country, the middle finger. That's why I'm exposing this. We don't hate anybody, but I'll be doggone if we sit up here and make anybody else a priority. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Very Brief War Briefing. Again, my name is Vicki Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at VickiXDillard. Follow me on Twitter at DillardVicki. I bow to you. You are my bliss. Thank you for tuning in.